Kabuki theater arose in Edo period Japan. It borrowed concepts of other Japanese theater forms, such as Noh theater and puppet theater, to create a new and exciting style. Modernity in Japan arises in this moment of deviation from traditional theater, where the lower classes were the targeted audience. Kabuki is predominantly a visual experience, containing different components that work together to reveal aspects of the performer's character and personality traits. The characteristic over-dramatization known to Kabuki theater is evident in dramatic poses called mie. The staging of the theater also played an important role in audience perception of and interaction with Kabuki performers. It is precisely this combination of elements that personify Kabuki as spectacle in the realm of early modern Japanese visual culture.
With Kabuki makeup, I think the most famous style of makeup which is used in Kabuki theater is something that is called Kumadori makeup. This is a style of makeup which is used primarily by the Aragoto actors. So again, those are the actors that specialize in playing the real sort of superheroes, supervillains, those kind of extreme role types of male power or whatever. And basically, these makeup patterns emphasize colored lines which are drawn on the face around this area. They may be around here. Usually the eyebrows are quite large and very exaggerated in the way that they're drawn in. This is usually done over a white base makeup. Anytime you see a character that is showing strong red lines coming in this way, generally the color red is associated with a hero character. So probably this person is considered to be someone who's on the side of good and righteousness and all of this stuff. There also could be a bit hot-tempered. In other words, if they see an injustice being done, they're very quick to jump in to try to rectify whatever is going on. On the other hand, if those lines in this area are, say, this sort of a grayish blue color or brown or sometimes green, those colors will usually indicate an evil character of some kind. The blue in particular is oftentimes used for conniving nobles that are trying to take over the rule of the country. The green and the brown is very indicative of characters that are probably more demonic. They could be demons, they could be ghosts of some kind that are malevolent spirits. The blue also can connotate possibly that the person has got some sort of magical powers that they possess. The use of the white makeup just as a base is something that has practical reasons as well as some symbolic meanings. The practicality would be, of course, in a darkened theater, white is going to show up a lot easier than if you're using a darker color. But the white can also have connotations that the character is supposed to be either very, depending on whether it's a male or female character, whether the character is supposed to be very beautiful, very handsome. It can also connotate that the person is of the higher classes.
Kabuki is known for its distinct way of moving, from the active movement of dancing to the stillness of posing. This way of moving is referred to as kata. Mie encompasses the meaning of kata in that it refers to the point in which a kabuki performer does a dramatic pose. This silence of movement acts as a punctuation to reveal a character's personality and to draw attention to powerful or emotional moments in the performance. For example, A character that is supposed to appear agitated or angry will cross his eyes in a dramatic fashion during his Mie pose. Mie can be interpreted as a moment within the performance where the audience members discover the underlying intentions of the characters. The position of the performer's body, together with facial expression, reveal a body language that contains implications of the character's human nature and rely upon audience perceptions of good and evil in order to be fully comprehended. It can also reveal different moods or emotions of the characters, such as expressions of sadness, anger, or happiness. These poses, therefore, are representative of a distinct visual culture in Japan's Edo period. Furthermore, the reliance upon such visual cues as Mie contribute to the notion of kabuki as spectacle.
Hanamichi is a very important focal point for Kabuki theater. Hanamichi is when you go into any stage in Japan which has been set up for a Kabuki performance, there will be a Hanamichi. And generally speaking, if you are the audience and you're facing the stage, the main Hanamichi, or the Hanamichi that will always be there, will be to the audience's left-hand side. This is a rampway that runs from the back of the theater all the way to the stage, and it's the main exit and entry point for the actors. So it's another place where the audience can get very close to the actor. There's a very important focal point on the Hanamichi, which is something called the Shichi-san. Shichi-san, literally translated 7-3. It's a point on the Hanamichi which basically, if you're measuring it, they'll say it's 3/10 of the way from the stage and 7/10 of the way from the back of the theater. So right at this point is considered to be sort of like the sweet spot. This is where the actor, oftentimes, if he has an entrance, will stop at that point. He's still out in the middle of the audience, kind of. He's not on the stage proper. And he'll turn out to the majority of the house, and he may have his first lines. Or he may have a big pose that he does at that point. And the audience will just be, loving it because he's in the middle of all of them and whatnot. Some staging for certain plays will actually have a secondary Hanamichi. So not only will you have the main one here, but on the other side, there'll be a thinner, a narrower rampway. And so depending on what's going on, you can literally have this situation where you can sometimes get the feeling that someone's traveling all the way around the theater sometimes. So the Hanamichi is as something, Kabuki is it's a very important part of a Kabuki performance, the staging of it.
The elements of kabuki discussed here are significant in relation to each other, especially in the implications of their color and style. The combination of dramatic poses with distinguished makeup and costume design work together to create the kata of kabuki theater. The setup of the stage and audience participation in mie poses also complement each other and create a space in which the audience can interact with the performers on stage. The relationship between audience members and kabuki is further solidified by the content of the plays, specifically plays in which the social status of characters is improved by seemingly impossible methods. Although studies have been done on kabuki, the significance of the symbolism of color and style in audience perception deserves special consideration. Kabuki can be seen as a critical moment marking the beginning of modernity in Japan, because it borrowed traditions of existing theater styles and created a new art form that has survived several generations. Moreover, kabuki exists in forms other than theater, such as in the form of woodblock prints. These prints serve as a means of advertising plays and their celebrated actors. The multitude of images accumulated in Edo period Japan on kabuki theater, as well as its actors, suggests a fan craze and a population that was fixated on the entertainment of spectacular culture. The popularity of kabuki, together with its focus on mystical stories, elaborate costume design, dramatization, and its distinct music, create a perfect recipe for spectacle in Japan. Furthermore, it is important to study kabuki and its components as both separate entities as well as in relationship to each other. In containing these various elements, kabuki solicits audience participation, and by virtue of its extensive focus on visual elements, it can be considered spectacle in Edo period Japan.